there was one priestess you should follow, it should be this one. What this one has to say about channeling is like hit the nail on the head, if that's still a popular thing to say.
Woo, I'm about to piss a lot of people off. I think a lot of people on this app who claim that they are channelers of certain gods, or if they're oracles of certain gods, are liars. But I have reason to think that because I am a scholar, as we can see here. This is the best book that I found on mediumship, and it ranges up to a couple $100. Here's proof that I actually read the book. What Henry is describing here is a very in-depth procedure in order to receive those kinds of messages. Because I think a lot of people who claim to be mouthpieces or channelers of certain gods or goddesses is a form of control. It's a form of power. I'm taking the authority of something else and giving it to myself. And you can't really disprove it, can you? I think we see a lot of narcissism in that community. Now, I do believe that channelers are real, and I'm going to show you one that I very much respect and think is real. And that would be this guy, George King, who founded the Aetherius Society.
I could not agree more. I think it's gone to the heads of a lot of people, the whole spiritual thing. It was already predicted it would take off cosmically. We're not surprised that there's this huge takeoff of spirituality becoming popular, people returning to church, people returning to being a Catholic, wanting that ritualism in their life. There's even people turning from simple non-denominational Christianity to Orthodoxy and Catholicism, or whatever they call it, because they want more tradition, more rituals. They don't think it's strict enough. So there's a craving for that spiritual foundation, that spiritual kind of structure in people's lives. So that's already been something that was foreseen cosmically if you follow astrology. But the thing that goes hand in hand with that need or desire or curiosity that goes with that is the cockiness, the arrogance, the pride. Regardless of which religion it is, you're going to see that arrogance. Now, in our form of spiritual work, you're going to see people wanting to be channelers and thinking that they could communicate with anything and everything. You're the one that kind of looks like the judgmental one if you come out and say, are you really talking to Mary Magdalene, or is it just in your head? You look like the asshole if you come out in the comment section saying that, right? So you're forced to kind of just watch, support. So she's spot on the observation with the uptick in spiritual movements building and people wanting and craving that kind of stability in their lives, something to answer to spiritually. You're gonna have the kind of arrogance that go with it. That's just unavoidable. Pick your religion and you're gonna have its own version of arrogance that go with that religion. Christianity, it's those judgmental Christians. Paganism or agnostic people, it's those that are thinking that they're channeling these individuals, that only they seem to be able to do. They're being able to communicate. They are receiving and channeling these messages, and they are wanting to share that message. It reminds me of the ChatGPT and the narcissism that's coming out of that in the recent reel that I talked about. Just in general, narcissism is on high, and it is stemming from social media and the instant gratification era of it being all about us. Me, 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 me. It's all about us, what we want, what we need, what we desire at our fingertips. Immediately as Wi-Fi can deliver, you search it, Google it, tap it, etc. It's creating the chaos that we're seeing around us. And this is one of the areas that many of us spiritual priestesses are starting to notice it in. And we need to call it out. And I'm glad she did. And I'm definitely agreeing with her. And like she said, there are many great, genuine, talented channelers that truly have the gift. But you will know them, the legit ones, by something I always talk about. The ones that answer to something higher than themselves, not the ones that have the massive ego where it's all about abundance and manifesting and you are equal to the divine. The ones that have fallen away from answering to something higher and greater, a greater power, those are the ones that have lost their way. Those are the ones that have lost the connection to the divine. And they are definitely not channeling jack shit. The ones that truly talk about and understand that there is something higher and greater than ourselves that we must honor and respect and submit to, they're most likely the ones that you should be listening to. And they're probably in deep meditation and deep training and are probably not cutting and taking shortcuts to get the channeling done right and get the messaging out to us. And she recommends one in her video, which I'll link here at the end of this one to remind you of what she had said in the beginning. And so I'll personally go check them out because I've not heard of him and his group before. But great advice from her. Go follow her because she's amazing.
Be this guy, George King, who founded the Aetherius Society. I actually interviewed Reverend Paul Nugent, who is currently working with the Aetherius Society, and talk about mediumship. I own a beloved copy of The 12 Blessings